everybody, to episode 2 of the Kingdom of Gamealot Roundtable Podcast. I'm Damon again, joined yet again by...
Lucas.
And Jacob.
We are here to follow up on our little cliffhanger, quote-unquote, from last time. Video games aren't always fun, am I right?
Sometimes they suck, but not, yep.
Well, thank you, Goofy.
Thank you for your contribution, sir. Yes. Video games are amazing for the most part, and yet even the ones we love can occasionally have things that we're not that fond of. It can't be helped.
This is true.
In general, you'll find games that have certain aspects to them lacking in, say, substance or quality.
Perhaps they even have mechanics that just suck and have degraded over time with monetary gains supplanting actual good game design, unfortunately.
But the money!
This is a real great podcast, guys. Stick with us.
Also, by the way, thank you for coming back for a second one of these. We plan to make more.
All right.
Yeah. Probably with better focus.
Papa John's. Yeah.
I guess we might just go around starting with a few things that we dislike in games. I, for one, I'm going to start this off a little controversial. I don't care for open worlds.
Really?
Just straight up?
No. I'm just saying that more for, the sense of it.
Okay.
I'm generalizing, of course. There are fantastic instances of open worlds. The best one I've seen is probably The Witcher 3. Or we can take in, even... I'm not as huge of a fan of Zelda's turn with Breath of the Wild, but there's not much arguing that it's a great and fantastic world to explore.
That's fair.
I haven't lived in it yet.
Did have my time with it. It wasn't something that, I stopped playing and I was like, yeah, I really got to get back to that. But while I was playing it...
While you're in there, you're like...
Yeah, it was one of the few times where I was just like, I'm going to go over there, and then I'd just discover things, and it was really cool.
Yeah.
And The Witcher 3 was the same. I'd turn over, every rock, despite it being an expansion on that sort of, KOTOR-ish design of, hey, here's a big old, little sandbox for you to explore and, talk to some people, do some quests, change things slightly in some way. However, I find most open worlds are just... barren and sad. They don't have any quality or love put into them.
Yeah, I definitely feel that. They don't necessarily feel
a little
in.
controversial here, and I'm going to point out a little friend called Skyrim here.
Well,
it does have
make friends, aren't you?
Yeah. So I think that game.
Let's see you release the same game 7 times then.
Yeah, so a lot of that world has a lot of copy and paste sort of things, or when I go out and discover things.
Yeah.
Not to say that it's bad or anything, or the lowest quality of stuff, but it's just, I didn't quite see that level of love and care in that game as much as other people did. I was like, oh cool, another dwarven ruin. What am I gonna find here?
I hope it's not
a robot? Oh, no.
Yeah. I feel like for me, the copy and paste dungeons of Skyrim is what kind of lost me, but for the most part, I spent countless hours
I think a lot
in
of the other stuff is really great, and unfortunately, that's where it ended up losing me. Full disclosure, I have never beaten a full run of Skyrim.
I put 100 hours
There's
in.
no beating Skyrim.
Yeah, it's just the thing is that I've
I get distracted, then I stop.
Yeah, I get distracted and I stop. I usually get into those dungeons and I'm just or I just explore for a little bit and I'm just everything feels too samey for me.
Yeah.
However,
have you done the Daedric quests though? Those are kind of the bread and butter for me.
There's some standout, really cool stuff.
Yeah, I expanded a decent bit whenever it finally came out for Switch, and then I was like, you know what, I could probably play this game a lot better if I'm on mobile.
Yeah.
Which I did, in which case I got to that, I think it was the shitty crime town, in the top left.
The shitty crime town in the top
where
left.
there's where immediately someone's doing a murder, the second you walk through, and you're like...
Are you talking about Solitude, the imperial capital of Skyrim?
I don't think it's the imperial capital.
Being executed.
So it has no. There's just someone running out because it has a quest in it with a house with a haunted house in it.
Haunted house.
I remember that one. If you bring your dog in, he fucks things up a little bit.
That's fun. But yeah, like stuff like that. But that was just me throwing that one out there for my like baseline for how an open world should be like that. I think that's fine. But you'll get so many that are just like, yeah, the taglines, this map is 3 times larger than Skyrim. Yeah. What can I do in that map, please?
Right.
Tell me.
If there's no substance to a map, if it doesn't feel lived in, if it's not got enough stuff put into it meaningfully in that large space, then what's the good of the large space? You're simply in a large space.
And that's one of the reasons why, say, Bully is my personal favorite Rockstar game. And maybe Red Dead, but it's on the cusp. Because there's, like, you can pretty much interact with almost everything in Bully. And everything gets, like, a highlight. You do things on the missions. Yeah. There's, like, little special things to do, find. It's a nice, smaller, curated experience compared to, like, a Grand Theft Auto. Right. Where I'm driving through streets that mean nothing.
So, this kind of... I was having a thought earlier today, actually. And I was thinking about how role-playing games sometimes, when it lets you create a character and gives you a blank slate, it kind of makes you role-play less, because you end up just doing what you would personally do. So you're not really playing a role, you're playing yourself.
I think it depends on the game and the person, ultimately.
I think so, too. And I think definitely if I had more time, I could make up a character and be like, I'm going to play this way by these rules. But when I'm just passively playing... I think I just kind of go autopilot, and I just start.
Well, yeah, I mean, ultimately, getting there, the ultimate fantasy is your self-insert character.
That's like, true.
This is me. I'm doing my adventures across the galaxy, saving the world, and it's really great. I mean, look, like.
That's a point that I want to circle back to.
Yeah, and then occasionally, like, on repeat playthroughs, you might do something fun. Like, I'm watching one of the people I watch play, Pat Stairs, play through KOTOR. 2, specifically, and he's made the character Karen, who is a white blonde lady who is very Sith.
That's fantastic.
It is wonderful. And I mean, yeah, but I very highly doubt his first playthrough was like, yeah, we're gonna fucking like sell you to slavery, fuck you.
For funsies.
Like, yeah, like just completely dark, the Sith now, Sith later, harder mentality, or like renegade option things, except for obviously the best renegade option of all, which was punch the reporter.
Okay, so
everyone punches the reporter.
Since you've cycled to Mass Effect on me, that's the point I was going to make.
Yeah.
Is that like, I feel like I'm somewhere between, like, if I'm a blank slate create a character, I feel like it is me. I'm doing the thing, so I'm always just going to be like, I'm the nice one. Hello, I am hero.
Yeah.
But like,
my fantasy is to like be like, hey, hope you're happy, buddy.
Yeah. That is fair.
That's always
like
a good
people want the power to make a better world.
I just feel like
that's just what it is.
And I feel like that works for a lot of people. Yeah.
I feel like in my case, there's less you can do with a create a character story-wise than you can like, this is my Commander Shepard.
Right.
Like that's why I feel like Mass Effect is important in this context. Like you can customize Commander Shepard, but the fact is, at the end of the day, that's Commander Shepard.
Yeah.
He has a life, he has a story, and he has a crew that cares about Commander Shepard, not McHeroton.
Right. Blank slate hero.
Exactly.
Player.
So I feel like that's why I like creating preset people.
Yeah.
Instead of it's just hero man.
Yeah.
Like, so... But I love creative characters. That's the other part of it.
Too.
But I feel like that's another... We'll go to controversy again. I'm not huge into MMOs for a lot of reasons, but the first and foremost being everyone is Mr. Hero.
Yeah, I definitely
or no one is. I mean, it all depends. Like, I mean, look at Final Fantasy 14, everyone is the main hero.
Yes, everyone is...
And then controversial... on the other side of things... in WoW, you are just Schmuck McGee.
Yeah, and I feel like being Schmuck McGee works for some people, like me. I'm perfectly fine being the schmuck that did a good thing.
Right.
Instead of, you were a predestined hero, but also so were the other 10 people you brought into this quest.
Yeah.
Right. So that's kind of the difference between, like, RuneScape and Elder Scrolls Online. Because Elder Scrolls Online is like, you're the chosen one, and so is everybody else.
Yeah.
RuneScape is like,
everyone else
you can do whatever you want. It did kind of bum me out, though, when eventually everyone just... looks the same with the best gear and everyone's just wearing the same set of armor.
That's jokes on them. I had my Gothics.
It's either that or they're like, oh, I'm better than you. I'm leveling wood cutting up to 100.
What no, I'm the best stat? What are you talking about? That's the only stat I wanted.
You
to
say
increase.
that like I
Really?
don't have level. Thing is, I play a lot of.
I mean, it is kind of fun to level up.
A lot of RuneScape, and I think level 80 woodcutting is my highest stat.
That's pretty hilarious.
And I've seen my fair share of bots be stolen by the random event NPCs.
Oh, yeah. Yeah,
Or
I've
you
seen
have
that
your
too.
third option over there where you just sit outside of Lumbridge and do the Wiggly Rainbow lyrics.
I did that a lot.
And then they sing Don't Stop Believin' for a
I
while.
never knew how to do that. I never bothered to
knew
look
either,
it up,
but
but I've
It
seen
was
that all the time.
like if you wanted to do a color, it was aqua / and then the space and then.
Oh, really?
It was like
That's
I learned it
cool.
after a while because I was bored doing fishing, and
yeah?
I see everyone around
Yeah.
me doing the wiggly waves, and like someone would put a dot, and then all the way over here would be like "Help me," and it's wiggling in the water.
Yeah,
I'm
you
like,
know
hey,
what?
That's
Oh my
fun.
gosh.
That's another thing that annoys me. Why aren't there more wiggly rainbow words in video games?
Right?
Yeah, that really pissed me off. But ultimately, I personally would prefer not to have an open, empty world
Yeah.
as opposed to a nice curated experience. This is one of those reasons
Yeah.
why Resident Evil is one of my favorite game series in general. Most of the games fall into that category of, hey, here's a nice tight space. I remember this room specifically. This room has given me visceral memories, and it's wonderful.
'Cause-
As opposed to, oh, cool, I wandered across that wasteland for like 3 hours.
Fallout.
What did I do?
Sometimes.
Yeah.
Not always.
Once again, it also varies from game
But
to
it
game.
is
Some
supposed to
games
be a wasteland. So.
Yeah.
it is supposed to be a wasteland, and that's an unfortunate setting. Yeah, I think Fallout 4 actually really helped
Fallout 4
vary
was
its environments a decent bit.
I played Fallout 4 probably more than
Comparatively?
the others. I want to give New Vegas a second try.
It's
I didn't,
easily the best.
I didn't pick it up until after
It's-
4.
it's
and
like the
I had
most
just put
well-received,
so
I've
much
It
into
is
4.
the most well received. I shouldn't say just it's necessarily the best.
I mean, it's well received for a reason.
It
like,
is,
admittedly.
yeah. It's the best. I'd say it's the best written and the best like.
Right. Isn't it
The
made
best,
by...
It's made by not BioWare, Obsidian. Yeah,
and they also did Knights of the Old Republic 2
Yeah,
and
exactly.
Outer Worlds or whatever. I haven't
Which Outer
finished
Worlds
that,
was great. I
but-
never finished it either. I was really close to the ending, and then I just got distracted
Oh,
with
yeah.
life.
I just did
But
the
I
first
really
world.
did have fun with it. It felt like a New Vegas 2, except
Yeah.
just not quite as like
I didn't quite enjoy like
immersive, I guess.
I enjoyed Outer Worlds a lot, but I feel like I was never 100% committed,
Yeah.
Yeah.
like in any sense, because like there were certain things that always held me back a little bit.
I didn't...
Like I didn't
Get
like
attached.
I didn't like the crew.
Yeah.
Like
I liked some of the
I liked
crew,
the ship.
except I'm.
I like
the ship was kind of fun. She was a fun
Yeah,
AI.
the ship was a great one.
But like out of all the crew members, I couldn't tell you
No.
a single one of their
I
personalities.
I
remember
absolutely
any
could.
of
I
them.
remember the. I'm sorry.
The
This
mechanic
is
girl?
Yeah, the mechanic girl. She's the best.
Yes, she's the only one that I Pavari,
She did
I think,
exist.
or something like that.
Yeah, she did exist,
typical.
and I'm also trying to remember her voice actor, but she's fantastic too. I love Ashley Birch, I believe. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
But
Ashley
like
Birch.
I can barely remember any of them, and that's what's sad because like
But
I
those
feel
also-
like I wanted to, but there wasn't enough like there for me to care.
Yeah,
I guess.
but I really liked those. They had nice, varied environments,
Mm-hmm.
and it was more of a structure that's closer to, like, say, Knights of the Old Republic, a Mass Effect, a like Witcher 2,
Yeah.
where it's curated areas where it's just like, this is where you are right now,
Yeah.
and you go around and you finish that world.
Yeah.
And you move on, sort of thing. And I
each world
really,
has its own
I
small
feel like
sandbox.
each one of those gives it a lot more personality. It gives the developers a way to really like implant things rather
Yeah.
than just making it a big space.
Right.
Which not to say it's bad or anything like that. It's also I'm still struggling whether I like Monster Hunter's new like way of doing things where it's no longer sectioned.
Oh right, it's
like
not
areas?
just like pieces 1 through 10. It is just
Yeah, like
1
I
through
felt
10
like
area.
I don't know why. Like I think I partially enjoyed it a little bit better. Like I think it's genuinely better that it is more open.
Yeah,
now.
I feel like that
overall
was a
better.
limitation
Yeah, I think it's
because
overall
of hardware.
better. It was.
Yeah.
In fact, actually, the new Monster Hunter Rise is like Monster Hunter World, in which case everything is open.
Right.
One-
The only difference is that there is a little bit of a draw distance. Like after a certain while, you can see that the
Things start despawning.
no, they don't start despawning.
Oh.
You
Far?
their animations go at like
Oh,
10 frames, like
okay.
like that sort of like the far away like bird
Yeah.
goes tick tick tick
Yeah,
tick
okay.
tick.
That's fun.
Yeah, and that sort of thing. But overall, I think it's a much better fluid experience. However, I don't
You
know. There
can't
was something
help but-
about like me being like, yeah, Area 6.
Yeah.
Area
That
6.
fucking like got really
There's
in my
something in
head.
the back of the goblin mind. It's like,
Yeah,
yeah,
like-
but I kind of liked it though.
Actually, in fact, this new game, Rise, recreates a map from Monster Hunter 3.
Okay.
One of the maps
Except
is just
now
straight
it's
up.
all
Yeah, but it's expanded and it's really widened.
Okay.
Like, it doesn't quite have, like, the same... like, I had to be like,
I'll play
the Flooded
game
Forest,
when it
what?
comes out.
What? And then I, like, looked at it and I was like, this looks familiar, but not. And it was like, everything just seemed to, like, not quite have the same personality, but it was all there.
Okay.
Like, I could go to certain areas and be like, like, because in Monster Hunter 3, there's, like, a little Aztec pyramid off in the background, and it's here now. There's, like, a little cave off to the side that has, like,
so you can go to places that used to be, like, just backgrounds, or is that...
No, I don't think they've expanded much on the... They may have expanded, like, a little bit, like, because the area seems different. Like, it's remade.
Okay.
It's something new, but, like, samey at the same time. But, like, I went around exploring the map recently because I was like, I want to see where's the spot with the tree, and I couldn't find it. Right. It may just be in a different spot, or
I kind of wish I had the same nostalgia for Monster Hunter as, like, or not even nostalgia, just the same
reverence.
Reverence as you do, because you obviously respect that game like so much.
It's really great, man.
I just don't think I've put enough time into it.
It's not a good series for beginners.
Yeah.
Like, it really doesn't. It's not kind.
The thing is,
like, World was really kind for people, except
of them.
Its environments. Its environments are so fucking big and confusing.
I like the environments. I
like, they look
don't
beautiful.
know what it is that not put me off it, but just didn't make me keep playing. Like, I guess the gameplay loop just wasn't capturing my brain for some reason.
Fair enough.
But you know,
that's like it didn't work for me. I don't know if you got anywhere further than that. Like, when I got Monster Hunter 3 on the Wii.
Yeah.
Because Nintendo Power gave it great reviews. I was like, holy shit, this game looks fucking sick.
Yeah.
The monsters interact with each other in cool ways with their environment. I'm super excited for this. I got it, and I was like, this game's boring and dumb.
I have it on the Wii U, and then I also have the a couple of the DS ones, the 3DS, and World. I also have, and I suppose if you want to play it sometime, I'd be down
absolutely,
to...
particularly because the PS5 renders it at 60 FPS now.
Okay.
So, like, I'm really excited about that.
That's awesome.
And of course, if you ever get a Switch, I have Rise now.
I don't know that the viewers know. Jacob's lucky enough to have a PlayStation 5.
Yeah,
pretty cool.
It's been
lucky dog.
It's been pretty fun so far. There's not too much to do with it, but what features are there are great. It makes a lot of my PS4 games run at 60 FPS. It's great to work on, but I'll probably talk about that a little bit further in another episode.
I feel like once we all have a little bit of experience, we'll give you guys some of our first thoughts.
We'll save that for the one where we're not talking about bad stuff.
Oh, right. That's what we were talking about.
We are.
Yeah, we kind of
regardless, actually, I mean, that's a good place to do it. It's really unkind to beginners.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd say games like that, and I think Dark Souls 1 were two of those games where I was like, wow, this is actually a piece of shit. Fuck this.
I remember Witcher 2 was certainly a little kind of like
I don't know. I was really into it, but then again, like, I don't know. It had a certain level of AA Eurojank polish to it. Like, it sits in a weird place, but like, I really like it.
So I'm just trying to think of all the games that just like fucking figure it out for yourself.
I didn't like Monster Hunter until I was just like, let's try this again. And then I went into a little bit, and then I went on to online.
Yeah.
And then I started curating, like, experiences with other people.
Right. See, the thing is...
Particularly because, like, the online back in those days was a lot more like, hey, how's it going, dude? Like, actually,
really?
Sitting there, like, you'd sit in a lobby with people, and you
cool.
would talk to them before the hunts. After, I still had people I talk to this day from my experiences where I spent all summer playing it.
It feels like today you don't really meet anybody, like, in online games anymore. Maybe it's just because we're
never talked to a single person in any of my world games.
No, I mean, I just go through the motions. But back then, there was, like, a special air of camaraderie that like came from it, which was really nice, and I do hate that that's lost here. But
like, I will admit, I don't like I like 14, but I don't like it. It's that weird kind of situation. But like in 14, I'll always make the effort to kind of do the same thing.
Fantasy
like, hey,
14?
what's up? Yeah,
I think 14 like really makes its environment really good for that sort of thing.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, I am becoming more of a closed off shell of my former being. So as of late, I'm just like, just get me into the dungeon and get me out.
That's very fair.
Oh my
Like,
I feel like part of it's just the character. Like, I'm not gonna harp on this. Like, I'm Thud. That's from my D&D podcast. I basically just made Thud into my character, and Thud has always just been a lighthearted character. So I'm just like, if anyone sees Thud, Thud's just like, hey, what's up, guys? Hey, how's it going? I'm here to heal you. I'm here to tank for you. I'm, given whether or not I'm patient enough to wait 30 minutes, here to fucking DPS for you. Haha, speaking of which,
I'm just a slow
DPS
typer.
wait times fucking suck.
Yeah, no kidding.
But I'm not going to be doing DPS again, thank God. But yes, talking to people on the occasions that they're willing to talk is always an interesting and fun enough time. And I've met a small handful, like probably nowhere near like long-lasting friendships. That's the words.
Yeah,
right.
That you've quite curated. But I don't know. I've had a small handful of people just be excited to be talking, I guess.
Yeah,
I feel like those are the little moments that I'm like, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that's what all these things are about. There's like a togetherness to it, which is really nice.
And not all relationships have to be long lasting. You can have a good, like, short, like, hey, I met you on this game and we're friends in this game. Yeah,
sometimes you'll just remember it. Like, hell, I remember, once again in Monster Hunter Tri, Kratos, the Spanish ultra hacker, who would just be like, please, wait outside for, like, a minute. And then he would hack and then kill the monster in one hit, and then he'd be like, all right, enter.
Oh my gosh.
Like other people couldn't be in the room whenever he did it or some bullshit.
Oh wow.
And then he would be like, come feast upon my bounty.
He
wouldn't say anything like that. He just but yeah, I would just there would be days where like for a little bit that I'd just be on the lookout for like his ID.
Yeah, back in the day there was a couple people that I just picked up online and was like, we're playing through the zombies, Easter eggs in Black Ops 1, and then, like...
Just randos? That's fucking sick.
Yeah, and then, like, if they were good, we would,
Just keep going?
Just keep going. Like, we would invite each other to the game and then, make friends for a couple weeks and then totally lose track of each other. But...
We wanted to come into this podcast to talk about hatred and aggravation. We came out with friendship. Isn't that magical?
Well, speaking of aggravation, though... being unfriendly to new players, do we have any other examples? Like, I feel like from my experience, The Witcher 2 kind of had that for me, but like, if it didn't work for other people, then I'm probably just like, I just wasn't thinking too hard on it. I was usually expecting like an RPG to just be like, here we go, stupid. All right, here.
I mean, at that point, like
fun.
your biggest experiences had been FF10, while being a pretty core Final Fantasy experience. Even still,
self-explanatory.
it is one of the more linear Final Fantasy experiences, even though it does have a lot of branching optional stuff.
Hallway Sim, kind of like 13, but good.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
Surprising.
And Mass Effect, which are both like very,
but they're both
different-ish experiences.
They're both very hand-holdy, and that's why Witcher was just kind of like, all right,
we're dumping you in this town. Yeah, because the first one's like that wooded town.
Yeah.
And it's just like it dumps you out, and then you have like 30 hours of content like right there.
Yeah. Like the first thing you do is the castle, and they don't really teach you that well what the combat is, and I died a good couple times in that first couple fights.
And I'd like to also say, I mean, of course, Dark Souls. I mean, you and I, like,
very user-unfriendly,
my experiences with getting Dark Souls was just you and I in GameStop and being like, people have been talking about this for a while, screw it, let's grab it. And this was like early.
I hear this is the Dark Souls
This was before Dark Souls 2 had come out.
I almost spit my drink out.
Is this the Dark Souls of Dark Souls?
Sorry, continue.
No. And we tried it out, and it's just like everything felt like a little janky. There was like everything felt very foreign because obviously it was its own particular style. The menus, the no pause, the jank physics, and everything.
Dark Souls 1 is kind of jank. I picked up the series with Dark Souls 3, and I love Dark Souls 3. It's my one of my freaking favorite games of all time, honestly. But when I went back to Dark Souls 1, it was not nearly as smooth as I would have liked it to have been. No. And knowing that it wasn't quite finished, I don't know.
It has a very shitty, like, last 20%.
Yeah.
I couldn't get into it the same way that Dark Souls 3 just drew me in, and I absolutely love Dark Souls 3. Dark Souls 2... Still haven't beat that one either, but
funny enough, Dark Souls 2 is the only one I've beaten.
It's
mostly because I waited for all the DLC to come out before finishing the game. Yeah, Dark Souls 1, it was pretty much just that jank ending area after everything just turned into towards demons and butts.
Yeah, that's I want to talk about shit like that.
Dark Souls 1,
I've struggled through all three of the games. And I've beaten all three with varying ranges of success, most of which come back to heavy mage builds. Because I just love Soulstream, even though it's a dumb spell. Yeah. But it looks like a beam, and that's
Demon
cool.
Souls is like... Magic is actually OP in that game, so that's good.
And
that's
holy
the only
crap,
one.
Damon, it feels so cool to cast a spell on the PS5 controller. You gotta try it.
Rumbles. Alright, cool.
Yeah, it like ruptures from like one end of your hand to the other. Like it...
Alright, awesome.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know how to like properly describe it, but it's a whoosh.
But that's a good thing.
It is
That
a
is
very good thing.
So, while we're talking about Dark Souls real quick,
Yeah.
you mentioned the Demon Butt hallway.
Yeah.
Their Demon Butt
the
final area
wasteland.
of the whole game.
Yeah, and then it turns into lava and then all that.
And that was, what the
trash.
fuck? I feel like that is just relieves me to my, my next point of being just bad game areas.
Which,
like,
I mean, Dark Souls has a few. I mean, look, Blighttown
Fucking Blighttown.
drops your FPS down to like 8, and then
I
you have to
fucking
suffer
hate
through that.
Blighttown with
And each of the games has something like that.
But none of them are as bad. Like, I remember Dark Souls 2 was pretty fucking bad with Dark Town or whatever the fuck it was called.
Demon Souls is still pretty bad. I think Dark Souls 3
poison.
has one too, and I think even Sekiro has one like that.
Oh, yeah.
I don't even like Dark Souls 3 and Sekiro. I can't even think of anything that I
Bloodborne does,
disliked really or felt like was super jank like that. I'm not sure.
Like,
Not
overall,
like necessarily like jank or anything like that, but there's always
Okay.
that like disgusting area. But I mean,
Yeah.
having like a poison town is fine in a
Right.
game. It's just
that
one was just really rough. It has a hard way to get in, hard way to get out.
super long area
Once you're fucking stuck,
with
you're stuck.
several enemies that poison you more.
I guess there's
And
something
also
kind of
you
like that in the
fall-
Ringed City, maybe.
It's just, I just did not. Like, I know the point of Blighttown is you don't fucking enjoy Blighttown, but by fucking God, I hated Blighttown.
Those doesn't help. There's a lot of games that they want to get those sales. Most people don't play past like the first couple hours of a game. They front load their games. You'll see a lot of times games will start dipping towards the back.
Yep.
Or you'll get situations where, hey, we've run out of time, or
Even butts.
or we'll get like even super
Dragon Balls.
ultra worst case scenario where you'll get like Cyberpunk, where they'll be like, hey,
Fools.
this bug is like game breaking for this quest. All right, remove the quest.
Oh no!
And then
Did they?
a whole bunch.
Oh,
From
no.
what I hear,
They got
they
the
removed
higher ups
a
were just like,
fuck ton of
fucking
quests.
release the game. I don't care what it looks like. And then
That's so
literally everyone
unfortunate.
was like, that's stupid. And they're like, do it anyway.
Yeah, so they basically removed everything that was ultra game breaking, and still the game.
They should have just released
something
it
else.
next year.
They should have, but they already made so many promises to release it early. And
They should have just said holiday 2021.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
ultimately, I'd rather have like a mediocre game that released like way later on, or something that didn't live up to the hype than, is this the next Fallout 76?
Yeah,
For
that's-
years and years and years to come.
That's
Or
terrifying.
we're going to get an Anthem, or anything to that degree.
like, thankfully, I still believe that Cyberpunk's gonna get to
I
the
think
point
it'll
where
get
it's good.
I
better,
think it
and
I
will.
played-
Also,
I've got 10 hours in the game already.
CD
but I stopped.
Projekt actually weirdly fucking announced today or yesterday or something like that. They have a Witcher and Cyberpunk project simultaneously being made right now to release it
Interesting.
in 2025.
Okay.
I don't know how well that'll be done, particularly because CD Projekt has a ridiculous habit of delaying things. It happened a bunch with The Witcher 3. The Witcher 3 was also broken at launch, from what I hear.
Yeah.
It's not a
Interesting.
great time, but
Well, they are good with adding free content
they
later.
are. That is
so
at least good.
I have
but,
hopes still.
yeah.
Oh no, I believe that
I mean,
Cyberpunk's gonna.
ultimately,
get there.
I
It's
care
just
more about
when-
their employees than I
don't-
care about the game actually being good.
I don't think they should have released it on the PS4 at all.
No,
Like, I think that they should have
Yeah.
just been like,
they shouldn't have released it on 20 systems.
Well, it got
That
announced
was
in
another
like
problem.
what 2013, so
they should have just been like, sorry, that's canceled. It'll be a PS5, Xbox Series
Yeah.
X, PC exclusive.
I'm struggling to like think of like this is a fucking really shitty level that I fucking hate.
Yeah.
So you want to
this-
know a really shitty game? Halo 4. Fuck that game.
All
And
right,
that one
let's-
cutscene from Halo 5, fuck that cutscene.
Sure.
I don't know anything about Halo 5, but I know Halo 4.
Halo 4
At the
is
beginning
a
of Halo
jank
4.
piece of crap.
So, full context for me, I like Halo. Last time I
love
talked about
Halo.
how I started on Halo 3. And then I went through... At least I listened to the story and whatever of 1 and 2. So I had more context.
Halo
but going
2,
into... Starting on Halo 3 and being like, oh, fuck, yeah, the Arbiter is the best, dude. He's fucking awesome. And then not reading the books or whatever, and then going straight from 3 to 4 like a dumbass, like I did with Kingdom Hearts, let's say. Going from Kingdom Hearts 1 to Kingdom Hearts 2 is the
fool.
wrong move.
Yeah, you're like,
Because I didn't know what
hold
the
up,
fuck was
what's
happening.
going on?
Who's Roxas? Where am I? Why is Sora in a tube? so many questions.
I still had a blast when it came out, though.
I mean, yeah, I played the one, and I was like, yeah, fuck yeah. And then I played 2.
It still goes down for a lot of people as their favorite.
And I was like, I don't know why Organization has so many missing people, and I don't know why they hate me, but here we go.
Right.
And that was my experience with fucking...
It was confusing, but I loved the mystery. I think I loved making up shit in my head, so, like...
Yeah.
I was like, I had my own, like, weird headcanon, I think, for a long time, and fell away, but...
Going into Halo 4... When, like, oh man, the Arbiter's
4.
the best, and I fucking love the Arbiter, and the Elites are dope. Oh, they're on my team, and that's awesome. And then Halo 4, first thing you do is shoot a couple of Elites, and then Master Chief's like, what's going on? I thought they were on my team. And Cortana gives a stupid hand-wavy fucking answer. Oh, a lot can happen in 5 years, and that's it.
Let me just talk about a couple things with Halo 4.
What the fuck was that?
Because I have a bone to pick with you, Halo 4. Fuck you, Halo 4. You killed my whole family. I'm just kidding. You didn't. My family's great.
Broke into my house and bunked me on the head.
But no, Halo 4, it's terribly optimized. You can't, like, juggle weapons through a level like you used to be able to. So, like, you can't, like, carry a sniper, like, 3 sniper rifles and just, like...
It's a very weird complaint, but okay.
I know, but it pisses me off.
Very fair.
Okay, just the overall design of the game, it just looks kind of weird compared to Halo 3. It doesn't run smoothly at all. At least on the Xbox 360, I don't really know about the Xbox One. The writing is absolutely terrible as compared to the original trilogy and Reach.
Was it 4 that they got rid of couch co-op?
5, yeah.
I want to say 4 is where 343 took over instead of it being Bungie.
Okay.
Because they went on to make Destiny.
It feels like crap to play. I don't like the multiplayer.
I don't like how the armor looks in that one.
It looks so bad.
It doesn't look like you're a hard ass anymore. It looks like you're a dude with mesh.
Right.
And that doesn't look like a Spartan to me. That just looks like a dude with soccer pants.
I got super excited because I got really into Forge on Halo Reach, and Forge just didn't live up to what I wanted with 4 at all.
It didn't grow. It stagnated.
It stagnated, and it even felt harder to use. Yep. It's probably my most hated game, just because of how good the Halo series was in my mind prior to that.
I like how single levels have just turned into...
fuck Halo 4.
I fucking hate this game. Well, actually, I mean, I can throw some other things into the ringer. We can throw some Dead Rising 4 under the bus. We can throw some Resident Evil 6 under the bus. We can absolutely throw a little bit of Assassin's Creed 3 under the bus as well.
Yeah, that's where the whole series lost me. I haven't gotten past it.
And I feel bad because a lot of the games after that are fantastic. Yeah. You know what? I just can't get the same fucking magic that I got because Assassin's Creed 3 just cut it off.
It just tanked. It was like, I do really want to play Black Flag.
It's like not even like a super bad
game. Black Flag is a standout.
Yeah, Black Flag is amazing. I just still couldn't get the same rush that I used to.
It just got so formulaic.
It got to... The thing is...
Not even like necessarily formulaic, but everything in it was bland. Like even... like because the formulaic stuff keeps going. It's in 4, it's in Unity, it's in Syndicate, it's in all of that. However, those all have decently interesting locations and with decently interesting characters.
The main character...
And, like, fun little mechanics and everything like that. Like, cool, the tree climbing and everything was good.
The tree climbing was neat.
But also, Assassin's Creed Rogue just ended up doing a little bit more of that. And then just did it better. Because Shane McCormick is, like, more interesting. And there's... but it's still in that same area of the Americans just weren't fun to play in.
Connor was just kind of bland. He just seemed, like, dead.
Yeah, he was dead and like
he was very
cold anger.
Yeah.
The thing is, who's the guy
he didn't
his
feel
dad
relatable, really.
Hatham. Hatham was great.
I liked Hatham. He was a cool character.
He
played him for 5 minutes.
Yeah, he was an interesting Templar.
I even didn't like Altair that much.
Well, Altair was bland,
like
they ended up actually like working him like really well in when you revisit him in Revelations.
Right. I did love
like they really fixed his character.
I loved the Ezio trilogy.
Absolutely.
Assassin's Creed 2.
That's really where it is.
Brotherhood and Revelations. That's where my love of Assassin's Creed lives.
Like, my favorite ones would be, collectively, the Ezio trilogy and then Black Flag. Like, I feel like when I played... Okay, so, let's go to the most recent one. Let's go to Valhalla real quick. Okay, actually, you know what? Let's go back to the first game real quick.
Okay.
Fun fact, I played through 99% of Assassin's Creed 1, and then the last level of the game was broken and busted
It was your
beyond
disc,
playability.
though.
Yes,
Oh,
I
no.
know. It's
Your
just,
Xbox just seemed to fuck up discs, particularly
Yeah.
Assassin's Creed discs.
I don't know what
Damon would
happened.
Weird.
Damon would beat games, and then I would get to play them afterwards.
And
then
the disc would be shot.
there was a time when I played through Assassin's Creed Brotherhood.
And I was always very careful
Yeah.
with my games, by the way.
I played through Brotherhood, where about halfway through 90, like later on through the game, last half,
Yeah.
things were like breaking and slowing down so much.
That's so
I got
weird.
to a point where I was having to do a chase and tackle sequence
Oh,
at
no.
like 2 frames a second.
Oh, God.
Yeah, it's pretty
Like I
bad.
was like
I've always had...
Slow-mo.
ultra slow-mo running, like just trying to complete the mission. After I got past the mission, it was decently fine, but I had to
good.
beat it like that.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
It was enough that I was able to chug along and I like beat it, but that was it. I was just like, fuck this.
Yeah.
The multiplayer worked well with it.
The
At
multiplayer
least.
was like a standout for that game. Like,
Well, you were gone for the summer and I was watching your dog, so I just played.
Yeah.
Oh, I never really played any
I
of
You
these.
got the barber.
I
They got really good.
forgot they
Sweet
had
Todd
the
skin,
multiplayer.
Yeah, for the fucking barber, and it was the coolest. So I've collectively had like bad luck with the Assassin's Creed games, and maybe it's just because in general they're kind of a little buggy. But I've had a couple of
No,
game
it's the
breakers.
Animus, man.
Okay.
The joke I had when I was first playing was like, oh, the Animus is fucked. I thought the last level was supposed to be like that. So I was like, oh, it's a buggy mess. Maybe the Animus is fucked up or whatever.
Oh, that
and then I
would be
played it
cool.
again like 3 more times and I'm like, no, that's just the game now. I can't play it.
Like that
I
one
don't know.
segment of the Batman game where it like makes you
Yeah.
think you broke your game.
Yeah, but
and
that's
then it
just
resets.
fantastic.
Yeah,
that
I
was just a
love
cool
that.
sequence. He
That's
just
so
starts
cool.
coughing and then...
Honestly, Asylum is probably...
Silence pretty good.
Asylum, Dead Space 1, and Bioshock 1, I think, are my 3 favorite games from last generation.
It's very fair.
Or
Well, now
are really
it's 2
close to it.
generations ago.
Well, yeah.
Yeah. But, yeah.
You're living in the future.
Yeah.
So, coming up to, Valhalla, fun fact, it's still a glitchy mess.
Oh boy.
It's no better than any of the other games. And
I know,
I had
Odyssey
a rough
seemed to
go
be-
of it for a long time, and I struggled to beat that game because the glitches were so fucking annoying, and also I was just not that into the game.
Yeah.
Like, I like Vikings decently.
I
It's
love
just like,
them.
whatever. But it's just the game itself, I don't know, man. Like, there's some shit that just...
I don't know, man. If you want Vikings, just go back to For Honor. You have fucking Shovel Knight in that game now, apparently.
Oh, neat.
Oh, just straight up?
I don't know.
That's weird.
What I heard recently, and I need
Probably
to go
just
look at it.
A shovel on one of the nights.
No, it's like it's actually supposed to be just actually Shovel Knight, but he's like big and tatted and shit, and
That's
has
bizarre.
like instead of having the armor. I don't know. I'm gonna look into it very shortly, but
He probably
I
looks
don't know.
like one of
Odyssey
the
seemed to be
like,
running pretty well,
Soul
like
Calibur
with my
6.
experience with it.
Oh, don't fucking bring up Soul Cal 6. I'll go on another rant.
I'm sorry, dude.
No worries. But that game.
Fun
was
fact, my PS4 bricked at one point and fucked everything up, but that's all. I'll talk about that.
Oh, no.
Anyway.
So you had kind of a big thing you wanted to talk about that over there?
I'll save it for another time. I feel like we're
You
stuck
sure?
on bad games, not just annoyances in
Well,
games.
no, I mean,
In which case, let's you
Okay.
and me talk a little bit about our experiences with RE6 because that's a little bit fresh in my fucking head right now. Like it's a game I really want to like, but
I'm
like
willing to forgive a lot of shit in that game, especially because of Jack, or not Jack, shit.
I'll
Wesker's
let it
boy.
commit. Yeah,
Punchy McGee.
I had it in my head right before you said it too. Jake Wesker.
Jake. I'm willing to forgive a lot of dumb shit in that
Jake
game
Muller.
because of
Mule.
Leon's campaign, because it was fun, and Jake.
There were
Specifically
there were
Jake.
a few interactions between Chris and like peers that I really liked
Yeah.
too. It's one of the few times where like the story really drives me to complete games in general. The gameplay like slogs so much. For it being, it's such a massive game too. It's the biggest Resident Evil game.
3 campaigns.
Each of the
2
campaigns
sides
is
each?
like about as big as.
I had no idea.
Like, that shit's massive.
Yeah, each of the games is like as big as RE4.
I've
It's
only
just
heard that it's just a button mashy mess.
It is.
They changed.
There's a song that is
They
some-
they released an update to reduce the shaky
Oh, thank
cam and
God.
like the button mashing and stuff like that.
Are you talking about the Miracle of Sound
Yes.
song?
Yeah.
The Miracle of Song Sound, hammer the buttons, and wiggle the sticks.
That's
Yeah, it
what I know of
wasn't
the
The
game.
game.
It wasn't my favorite experience with anything
No.
ever.
And
And
also,
the
it
guns
was-
just don't seem to have any weight. Like whenever I'm shooting them, they just don't feel good. And I don't know, the upgrade system wasn't like pleasant and enjoyable. There wasn't like a sense of horror. The only horror I felt was like they released
Having
this.
to play
I
the
saw the
game.
gameplay.
Having to play the game. Like
And also-
I'm still going, and then they released Ada's campaign, which had so many annoyances in it. Like that first submarine
Although-
level is fucking...
It's a mess.
It's a mess.
But getting caught as Ada is fucking hilarious.
Yeah, where you just
segment.
drop down from the vent, and then Chris, like, corners
Points
you.
his gun in your fucking
freeze.
and it's hilarious.
Yeah.
Because it's so immediate. So, you didn't play 6, right? Okay.
No, I really haven't played much Resident Evil at all.
In Chris and Piers's campaign, you're going through a ship, you're hunting down Ada for reasons I've completely
because she remember she like throws like the bomb and like it kills all his men and like turns them into bioweapons.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
But it's not actually her.
Yeah, it was like some weird clone
It's
or
a
whatever
clone
the fuck.
doppelganger thing.
Right.
So you're going through the ship trying to find Ada, but like you get to the end and it's a boss fight and everything. Meanwhile, Ada's campaign is her up in the vents above them shooting through rooms, so you can look down and they're shooting a bunch of guys in the room.
That's pretty neat.
And if you fuck up and fall through the vent, they're just on top of you with guns in your face, and it's the funniest thing ever. And I fucking love it.
That's pretty great.
There's a lot of weird interconnected stuff in that game that I kind of like. Like in Leon's campaign, when you're in the plane and you have the big farty zombie.
Yeah, and the big farty zombie falls down and like
and then you have to fight him
everything.
And fight him in. I think it's Chris's campaign that you have to fight.
I'm pretty sure it is.
Because like there's one area that he's just like locked off in, and like he just has a bunch of zombies. And you don't. Fun fact: you don't fight zombies in Chris's campaign. You fight terrorists or whatever the fuck.
No, they're like the Joavo.
Yeah.
Is J.
Joavo.
J apostrophe AVVO or something like that.
And it's a bunch. There's a bunch of cool stuff in that game, but there's just so much dumb shit in that game on top of it that it's not
ultimately a failure. Like,
yeah, and also it's more effective to play the game with an AI rather than a friend because the AI has a bunch of free medicine.
Basically, they can't die.
Yeah, they can't die, and they'll always revive you when when your teammate has to like pick you up and you'll have no health left. The AI will just be like, "Here's a green herb," and you're
gosh.
Yeah,
yeah,
fucking shaking the medicine.
Yeah, the little
want a Tic Tac?
The green herb mints.
Yeah,
it's pretty hilarious.
It was so stupid.
They're great,
but I had some fun, but I never actually played it with anyone because it's like, well, I'd rather just fucking win.
Well, I don't think either of us knew at the time. We just you had it on 360 and I had it on PS3, and that was really the caveat.
That's another big part of it. But there's so much dumb shit in that game. And then I get to play as Jake and punch things in the face, and I'll just do that the whole game because it's fun. Nice. And I just want to have fun after playing through the game 4 times.
Well, since we were talking about Mass Effect earlier and shames on the franchise, I didn't get a chance to touch Andromeda. I didn't because I didn't want to.
I have it on PC, and it's okay.
I heard it was really mediocre on account of them having to... They had to restart the game like twice within like 6 months of it like releasing.
Because every new director's idea of the game was something different.
Or
and
like
they had to like cut out some of the
big
races, like the Quarians and
it seemed kind of lacking. I haven't played it enough to actually formulate an entire opinion.
I've played through the whole damn thing, and I've got it's been so long that I can't completely give you a full rundown of the game, but I remember the big thing being, oh look, we're in a new galaxy or whatever. What's new to explore? What kind of new alien races will I find? The answer is 2. Yeah. 2 new species of aliens.
It seemed
and it's like
lacking. Was my first impressions.
We're in a whole new part of everything, away from the Reapers, away from whatever. Yeah. And there's 2 new races, and they're both boring.
Yeah,
it's like, come on.
It didn't hook me.
Yeah, and also I didn't like any of the companions aside from the female Turian because she was dope.
Oh yeah.
And I guess the female Asari, or the Asari, I should say, was also kind of fun.
She kind of bugged me a little bit. Yeah, I can't remember what it was, but I remember her bugging me.
She was very peppy in a game where nobody should really be that peppy.
Didn't she like tackle you and like it was like she was gonna like kiss you or something? Or, I can't remember what the heck I'm thinking of. Maybe that's not the right thing.
I don't know. I don't fully remember. All I know is all the human companions were fucking boring.
I don't know.
And most of your ship was human companions because they got rid of all the cool races.
Yeah. The moment that I'm thinking of just seemed really out of place. And it was just like, oh, okay.
It's also very possible. I honestly don't. I purged a lot of memories of that game from my mind because it was occasionally fun. Like I will admit... Speaking of shit we don't like in games, Mass Effect 3, but I'll get back to that.
Oh, the whole, like,
you have to play
ending. Oh, yeah, the ending. And then, like, day 1 DLC. That pissed me the fuck off. I was at the midnight release.
Oh, they had day 1 DLC on that?
Yeah, and it's essential to the story.
Yeah.
It's the From Ashes...
From Ashes was day 1?
Day 1. Shit. And it gives you the Prothean companion.
Yeah. And the Protheans are kind of super important.
Yeah. And it's like, do you want any exposition at all? Well, you need this DLC pretty much.
I don't know. Part of me gets like hurt that like those type of games even had DLC. Like, don't get me wrong, it's nice to have expansions and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But like, I was kind of woefully remiss whenever I played through most of, if not all of Mass Effect 2 on Damon's Xbox before, and then I got my PS3 and I played through it.
Yeah.
And I had all the DLC.
Right.
And he didn't, and I was just like, these characters are like the two different companions you get are super cool. I love them.
Jack and
Kasumi.
Kasumi, yeah. Kasumi.
I fucking not Jack.
Not Jack.
There was a rough and tumble dude.
I didn't care for him as much, but Kasumi is one of my favorite characters. Kasumi was straight up just one of my favorite characters. If she were romanceable, I would have absolutely gone for it.
Kasumi's got a cool DLC.
Yeah, she had like a lover that had died. That was the end of her thing.
I'm very excited for the re-release of the
me
trilogy.
Too. I think it'll be...
I'm sad that they're not redoing the multiplayer because I thought it was fun.
It was. They'll also have to do something else to like replace things because the multiplayer system.
It was essential to getting the best ending of 3.
Yeah,
and I felt like that was a little bit like unnecessary.
They were really just trying to push it though.
They just wanted you to buy their it was. I'm sure it was an EA thing, trying to get you to get their loot boxes or whatever they had.
Yeah, I mean, it could just be like how you make a co-op survival horror game where you are able to spend microtransactions to build gun parts.
What is this game?
It's Dead Space 3.
Oh, really?
Oh my god!
A game that made them kill a company.
That sucks because I played 1 and 2. I guess actually
Battlefield Hardline was really what.
Battlefield Hardline. I forgot about that game until you just now mentioned it.
Yeah, that game was garbage. Visceral Games made right after.
It's a cop.
Yeah, it seems like it should have been a cool concept.
Had those cool like animations or whatever though.
Yeah,
I don't think it works for Battlefield.
That's also fair.
Yeah,
if they just made a cool like cop game and somehow made that like sound.
They're just trying
to
capitalize on the name though.
Yeah, because like
pretty much.
I feel like you'd be more likely to buy a Battlefield than Cops and Robbers, but then Cops and Robbers could be a pretty cool concept, but then you'd be like,
it's like one of our friends really hates.
And then you get to the multiplayer maps, and then it's a giant fucking
2.
island, basically, literally just Battlefield again.
Names really have power, though, because I mean, look, like one of our friends really hates that the Assassin's Creed games are like what they are right now.
Yeah,
like they don't think that Valhalla should be an Assassin's Creed game because it's not. It's like or
like the new
say Odyssey or anything like that, because Odyssey's like.
The rebooted series.
I actually.
Are they really? Like, is it really rebooted, or is it like?
No, it's like rebooted. What do you mean?
They got rid of the main character 100 games ago. So
yeah, they do like minor story stuff, but like regardless,
the
like
world story
basically,
is it just an excuse to play the same mechanics in like a bunch of different?
It's a very loose.
Yeah, essentially. I mean, but that's really what Assassin's Creed was building up to be all along.
Like assassinations don't matter anywhere near as much at all. Anyway.
No, I mean you're playing in eras that don't even have like are prior to Assassins or anything like that.
Half the time you just get the Assassin's Blade. Here, check it out. Here's this Assassin's Blade.
Yeah,
a couple missions.
Yeah, stuff like that, and like whatever. It's cool. It's a fun game. And I understand where they're coming from, but ultimately they're not going to do that because it makes money. Schmuck Valhalla, the Viking experience, isn't going to make as much money as Assassin's Creed is.
Yeah, that's true. It's unfortunate, but
it's not going to make the same as fucking Norse God of War.
Right. That is, but I think that's a good new direction for God of War because
that game's fucking amazing.
Absolutely.
That got me really wanting to play it.
The Last of Us God of War was a great concept. Like honestly. Because that's how you move, like, in the same way. And
really?
It's, like, a very story-focused thing, and, like...
See, I haven't played either, so...
Well, both are, obviously, like,
I'm looking forward to playing both.
Particularly as someone who really did like God of War before, and the new direction was something that really, really made it fit into a newer era.
Yeah. I could see that as an outsider, because I also didn't really get drawn into God of War 1. I touched it, but I haven't played through the first 3.
Like, I still
Would
think
you recommend
all of them
me
are
picking up a later one?
Good. I mean, I like 3 more. I actually like 3 more than I like that one.
Really?
However, that's just a personal preference. I think 3 has just a lot of content in it. Okay. And it's very...
It's a lot of those
it's
big
very
points.
It's very content rich. There's like tons of boss fights. They're all varied. They're all super high quality.
Because 3's the culmination of that entire
the culmination.
line.
And the new God of War is like God of War 1 where it's like,
it's the reset.
You have like you barely you don't really fight too much.
I just like that setting though.
There's a few cool things and everything, but ultimately like what
3 boss
you
fights.
actually only
really?
you fight the Hydra. There's a bunch of boss fights, but you fight
Wait,
like
don't spoil the bosses because I kind of want to. just
okay.
experience
Well, regardless, at the you fight one god in God of War 1.
Okay.
And you fight like 3 demigods in this.
Okay.
Yeah.
Neat.
And then
And
like
that's
secret bosses and stuff that are like
in
the
the
best part of the
secret
game.
and the secret bosses, which are all basically just 7 of the same boss fight with different movesets.
So
I beat one of them that was such a fucking
You
pain
can
in my
completely
ass.
spoil God of War 1 for me. I don't really care.
Yeah, God of War 1 has I forget a lot of the boss fights, unfortunately, but
At the end of the day, the only one that matters is Zeus.
no, it's not. It's Hades in the first one, or Ares, not Hades.
I don't even remember.
Hades
Ares is the God of War.
yeah, because
Oh,
you kill
yeah,
him and
yeah,
you kill him and you take over the mantle.
I forgot.
That's the end of the game.
That's like the
I
whole
actually
big
don't think
part
I
of the
even
end.
fucking finished the first one, but
Interesting.
Oh yeah,
I
I,
was getting
have
pretty
vague
close.
memories of like the ending. where-
But 2 took it a step further from what I hear, made it really great, and 3 just like it's fight after fight after fight, and they're all
like
fucking phenomenal.
3 starts from like right after where 2 leaves off. It's like, all right, we're going, and here.
And how
here we
3
go.
has like some incredible boss fights. Look at your final boss fight with Zeus. Also, like you guys slam into each other, and then it turns into a fighting game.
Yeah.
Oh, neat.
Like it's on a 2D like.
Oh, really? Like it just switches styles?
Like you still have like the same controls and everything. You're just, but it kind of you switch styles.
Interesting.
I remember.
And that's just your phase 1 because of course
That's
like
pretty
it's
neat.
the culmination of the entire series. You're gonna
Yeah.
have a multi-stage boss fight.
All right.
yeah.
I mean,
of course.
But like
I remember.
intriguing.
I remember 3 had something that apparently no games really had before that, which is like transforming environments.
Oh, really?
So like on
Yes.
one point you're riding on the back of a nondescript thing because I want to keep it vague.
yeah,
for
the
you.
beginning of the game
But-
you're riding on
Nondescript thing.
You're riding
I
on the
love
back
it.
of a thing that's moving constantly. You're fighting things on it as it's climbing,
Oh, okay.
and like it's great. And then you're fighting gods left and right.
Man, I bet that would have been awesome back in the day when it came out.
Oh, absolutely.
Like,
Even now, it's great. Like
Yeah.
even
Like, they
now, like
remastered it, at
the
least.
amount of it's remastered. It was on PS Plus a while back.
Okay.
It's really good. I'd say even if anything, pick it up.
yeah,
I'd say pick it up.
Yeah.
I'll maybe just watch like a synopsis of 1, maybe 2, and I'll definitely play 3 and the new
Yeah.
one.
And then you can look at the DS or the PSP game and be like, oh, that.
I have both
PSP
of
was
those.
fun. Yeah, like I mean, I enjoyed. Both
I've
my
never
I
played
experiences.
just know that it's not that.
Ascension is the only one I'd say just don't bother with.
Yeah.
Don't bother with Ascension.
Like even playing through God of War 1 is pretty fruitful. Like hey, like enjoy
Yeah,
yourself.
okay.
And from what I hear, 2 is really really good, and
Okay.
3's just in my opinion like fucking phenomenal. And
Interesting.
if that same like type of rise in action is anything to speak of, I think the new God of War series is absolute. If it keeps going like in that same
it's
sort
a
of
great
direction,
starting point. Is like
it's a great starting point, and I think it's gonna
a
make
great baseline.
fucking great waves later on down the line.
I
Yeah.
would love to see more of the
And
new
like
series.
essentially, if we got a new God of War
Yeah.
that ended up being to the scope of 3, it would be
It'd blow your mind.
It would be absolutely be one of my favorite games of all time.
All right.
I mean, already that's probably I'd say that or Spider-Man PS4 or Bloodborne are probably my 3 picks for the best PS4 game.
All right. You've sold me.
But that's just like a me thing. I mean,
Yeah.
I could also throw in like a Persona 5 or whatever. Or,
Right. That's,
but like
that's really good. I
all
need to
that are
finish that.
up there in that like big like fuck yeah hoorah
Yeah.
area. It all comes back to good games, man. Like
But
I know.
That's
Like
what
we
we're here
can't.
for.
We can't stop talking about things
however,
we
there's
freaking
one
love.
thing I know that bothers you, Damon, to no avail, and I have differing opinions on it depending on which game it is.
Yeah.
You don't like sponges.
What?
Okay, so
Oh, okay. Okay.
Particularly in
SpongeBob, fuck that guy.
specifically in shooters, and like here's where
Yeah,
like I
no,
have
I'm on
like
board.
some differing. So I'm a little bit of half and half. I fucking love Destiny, and I
do
love
love
Borderlands.
Destiny, though.
So
Destiny and Borderlands, and those games bother the hell out of me.
Yeah.
However, I fucking hate battle royale games like that.
Yeah.
Like as much as I really love and enjoy Apex,
Yeah.
it really pisses me off sometimes that like, hey, I've shotgunned you in the face 3 times. Sorry, I hit a red shield. But those ones have numbers and guns I can level up and stuff, which is really great.
Right.
And they both have really nice feeling like controls.
Yeah.
So I'm
Yeah.
fine.
So, speaking of bullet sponges and stuff like that, we'll go to Call of Duty real quick just for an example of multiplayer for the sake of... There's a reason I play on hardcore. Like, there's several reasons. One, I like there not being a map. I like all that weird different shit. But most of all, I like that if I headshot a dude, that dude's fucking dead.
That's good.
Doesn't matter if that motherfucker has Juggernaut. If I shoot him in the head, he's dead.
Yeah. Yeah.
If I shoot him in the body and he's got Juggernaut, then he'll survive one, and then I shoot him again, then he's dead.
That is good.
As it should be, because I'm firing high caliber rounds into a man. That is a human male, not a tank.
That was my problem with Division for the 1 week that I played it.
Yeah,
they're
Division
all
was a fucking nightmare.
they're all humans, and I'm like, why am I spending 5 minutes shooting this one guy?
I have the
that's
best
completely
rifle
different.
I have. I could get.
If I'm fighting Croxa, the ultra
Crota.
super Crota, super god ultra with this big old alien sword and
Destiny.
shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm okay with
Yeah.
there being weird mechanics and cool.
I'm okay with
I
some
know he's taking a bunch of
Juggernaut
bullets.
god taking 1,000,000 bullets.
I'm okay if I'm
much
fighting
more
fucking
than,
King Kong
some
and he
guy in a
isn't really being
riot
affected
suit.
by my 50 cal.
So I'm of a split mind here. Obviously the Division has my ire for shit like that, but I'm also oh, it's a big version of the alien that I've been shooting the whole game. I enjoy the hell out of Destiny in Crucible.
Okay.
And that comes back to the
Crucible is fun.
hardcore version of Call of Duty. Because Crucible, you headshot a motherfucker, he will go down.
Yeah.
If you're
And
using your revolver, he will go down.
And that game is really balanced with it too, because you have shields. It's a fucking Halo.
Yeah.
Crucible is well balanced, I think.
That's
In fact, I really miss it, and unfortunately, if Destiny hadn't fucked itself like this, I really.
Well, if you
wish I
ever
could
want to
go
go back to just Crucible, I'd be down with
I
that.
don't know. I feel like I just am hurt by going in there.
That's fair.
They did us dirty, man.
Yeah. Okay.
Taking out all of that content.
We'll start with mine, and then we'll expand further. So we're going to
Yeah.
shit on Destiny for just a little bit. I'm shitting on it for different reasons, because I haven't been around to play the parts that you guys don't like here.
No.
So
it's not that
I just...
they took away so much.
Yeah, exactly. I just don't enjoy bullet sponge enemies, and I also hate ads. Just as a general sense, but any boss that's just oh, you've destroyed a third of my health bar, let me just go hide behind the shield that you literally can't penetrate, and rush you with a bunch of minions, and waste your
ads as in
fucking
minions.
time.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're just called ads, because you have to block them all before you can continue doing what you're doing.
So I hate them in the situation that you're in, but I don't mind a boss being accompanied
Yes.
by...
A boss being accompanied by ads, and you have to work around them, if a boss has, little drones, let's say, in a map...
Hell, I can perfectly bring a lot of this back to Monster Hunter. Because Monster Hunter has some cool-ass monsters that'll be scream for other monsters. Hey, bring in a big one, or they have all their little minions come in. And both of those are cool little mechanics. Oh, I'm a weaker creature, and I'm getting ganged up on. Let's bring in everything else. I'm a pack creature, or... I'm someone who lets bigger predators take care of things for me.
That's a good
cool.
version of it. But a boss that hides behind a shield and wastes my goddamn
What, are you
time.
trying to tell me the final boss fight of Arkham Asylum was bad?
Oh, you mean...
It was really the culmination. He already had the brain. He already had the brains. He really just needed the bronze, buddy.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
my fucking God.
That sort of thing. Yeah, there's
You
not
mean
really
the entire
too much
game being literally the same boss fight? Except for one?
Yeah. That's why, even
That's
though
another bad
I
thing in video
personally
games.
like,
Oh, boy.
even though I personally like Asylum better, but that's just for my personal taste of I like the nice tight areas and the feeling like a little detective man.
Yeah.
The entire time, Arkham City is just objectively better.
Yes.
I love
it's
Arkham
just
City.
fantastic. All the boss fights are great, and then Arkham.
I haven't finished Arkham Knight.
Arkham Knight's also really good.
I remember liking
binged
the
it
fights
all.
in Arkham Knight.
The boss fights aren't good.
That's the thing. A lot of people don't seem to like it. I remember the Firefly guy, whatever his name is.
Yeah, he was kind of boring, and
I
that was
remember
a
enjoying
interesting boss fight.
I don't fucking remember.
There was, and then there was the same tank battle multiple times.
Yeah.
Which was also your Deadpool Deathstroke battle.
I mean, we
Your
could
Death-
talk about Deadpool real quick.
Your
That game was...
yeah, that ended with a mob fight.
Yes.
So
We can bring it back to
that's the
Deadpool
only
to game
thing.
sometime.
I've only seen the beginning and the end of that game,
Yeah.
and that's what I saw. But
about half
of
Deathstroke,
it,
yeah,
along
was
with-
just another one of those tank battles.
Yeah.
And it was a little boring. While I like the ending of Night, which I'm not going to spoil,
Yeah.
there's not an actual boss fight.
Yeah.
It's not like the Sandman and City, which was super cool and cool parallel between having not having the Joker be the boss or anything like that.
Yeah.
I do love the
But
way
yeah, Night doesn't really even
Night
have a final.
starts, though.
Yeah, Night's great.
The way
Cool moments in each of them.
Yeah, no, and Night has a really cool ending sequence in first person again, kind of like that intro where you're pretending to be the cop or where you're playing as the cop
yeah.
who goes nuts and shoots everyone.
If you make him, I don't shoot anyone because I'm not stupid.
Or
Scarecrow can't
like
fucking fool me.
I guess canonically or whatever. I don't really know if they like changed the newspaper for it or whatever.
The dialogue changes.
Okay.
They'll be like, I can't believe he got out of there without shooting anyone. In my game,
Oh, really?
at least.
Yeah,
That's really cool.
Okay, cool.
Because I don't shoot anyone because I know they're not monsters. I'm not an idiot.
I also don't think I shot them, but
I don't remember what I did. It's been so long.
I mean, they want you to shoot them. Like, you have to sit there for like 30 seconds being like, alright, I should shoot everyone I see. I'm just gonna wait.
yeah.
Yeah.
I'm a cop.
But it also has a sequence it's not a final boss fight. It's like a big interactable sequence. It's like your end of game boss fight thing.
Yeah, I remember.
And it's incredible. For the story,
it's really cool.
It's a really cool moment.
I think as long as the story is told well, I think
it
I'd be
really
happy.
closes
I feel
off
like that's
things,
important.
but there's not like a big like this happened sort of moment.
Games don't always have to be a big in-your-face thing, like, in my opinion.
They don't have to be, and I think that was one of the times it was held well.
Yeah.
I do think that if you're gonna go in that direction, then it should be of a pretty good quality. Like, personally, I don't really love the boss fights in the original PS4 Spider-Man. However, I think the Miles game does up them quite a bit. Like, I think that's my actual only complaint about PS4 Spider-Man.
I agree with
Is the
you
boss
on that.
fights are a little
I don't remember any of it.
They
That's
feel a
probably
little.
not a good
They
sign.
feel a little janky.
Yeah.
You have like your Vulture and Electro fight. The Rhino stuff is fine. Those were pretty fun. And your final boss fight with Doc Ock
fight
was
kind of cool.
It was a cool
cool.
set piece, but it was like really easy
Yeah.
and very,
It was a
like,
set piece.
I also really had I had all my like
And
the
it felt
basic
like
web
it.
shooter completely upgraded,
Yeah.
so it was a joke.
Yeah,
That's fair.
same.
Like,
I did
legitimately,
everything
I did
before
everything before I went on to the final
Right.
thing.
Yeah.
So
That is one.
there was like
normally
almost no
goes.
point.
Like that ProZD video where it's like when you do all the side quests first, and it's like, oh, that was the boss?
The first
Oh,
boss.
okay.
Yeah,
Or whatever it was. I forget what his skit was. But
Close enough.
yeah, but Miles steps it up and actually like.
Nice.
While I think I like the original just slightly more, the boss fights are definitely a lot better in that game.
Nice. I look forward to it.
Like, there are definitely cool patterns and stuff like that
Yeah.
to like watch out for and like work with.
So, Damon, you touched on something that I really have feelings about, which was your problem with bullet sponges is they don't respect your time in the end, right? Like,
Any game that doesn't respect my time, I don't respect.
that's a
just
big
how
thing.
It goes back to.
that's a big thing for me, and I think that kind of deserves some discussion at some point. But we're kind of running out of time here, so
Yeah.
maybe another time.
If
but-
we want to give a brief overview of games wasting my goddamn time,
oh
then,
my god!
like I said, add enemies, add bosses that are just like, I'm just going to wait in a shield while you kill my dudes, and I'm going to come back, then I'm going to do it again and again, because this isn't a fun boss fight.
Yeah,
I don't like unfun boss fights. Bullet sponges and add rushes
So
are just two of the main ones that always fucking show up, and I hate both of them so
And that's
goddamn
entirely
much.
understandable. Like, I think one of the other passes that I give to Destiny is because Destiny makes a lot of its boss fights actual puzzles, which
yeah,
is fucking
I love
cool.
that about
Yeah.
Destiny.
Like, it has
Those
like
parts of the fights are fun.
yeah, like honestly, like I think overall, if I have to give like a first-person shooter that is like probably my favorite, it's Destiny. Like I think overall,
cool.
like
Any boss that changes its pattern in an interesting
Yeah,
way,
I
in a
think,
fucking shooter.
like to me, like I've just been like, oh
It's
yeah,
just the
this
part in
Call of
between.
Duty where I just shoot the one guy. There's no boss fights. I just shoot the man
Yeah.
until there's no more man.
Admittedly, Call of Duty World of War had a boss fight.
That sniper battle was fucking sick.
Yes,
Yeah.
but it is a standout among a bunch of non-boss fights.
Yeah, exactly. And that was the impression that a lot of first-person shooters in general gave me, and it was something I really just dislike in general.
I think
And
Bungie
Destiny
just does a good shooter.
And Destiny
Yeah.
came along. I wasn't the hugest fan of Halo. I liked Halo 3. I need to revisit it, of course, now that I have like a kid mind that's
We also
distorted
need
by
to finish
like
Reach.
We need to finish
Fucking
playing
hate
through the
it.
whole
Yeah.
series.
Of
It's
course.
so good.
Yeah, and then Destiny came along, and then it's like, you want to do these sick raids? Yeah, you got to
Yeah,
get in
those raids
six-person
are
battle.
sick.
You're doing puzzles with all of your teammates. You guys are all active and engaging.
Yeah. Everyone has a role
There's
to
like
play.
weird like
Yeah, it's like-
platforming and weird secrets and all this other stuff, and it's like, wow, you really took something that's just point and shoot to a completely different level.
Yeah.
That is true.
And like, I really love it.
Games with a lot of grinding, I think, don't respect your time.
Nope.
And
I don't think they
that's-
do, but I don't necessarily hate them.
It depends
I
on
don't
how much
always
I gotta
hate
grind.
them. These days, I think I'd have less time for it, so I have less tolerance for it, which is why I'm so happy that Final Fantasy VII gave the option to fast forward.
Oh, it's a great thing, particularly whenever you have like your slow PS1 intros. Particularly like if you move on to Final Fantasy IX, which is my personal favorite.
Yeah, I think I have it downloaded on my on my computer. I don't know if it has the upgraded stuff.
It should.
But,
okay. Except unfortunately, it's a port of like the iOS version, I think.
Oh, really? That kind of sucks. I might rebuy it.
But I think all of them are in some capacity. Okay. Well, I could be wrong though. Except maybe the 8 one, but who knows?
We'll see.
We'll see. Yeah, like a lot of those games really just don't respect your time. They're big RPGs. There's lots of grinding and stuff like that. Although Final Fantasy VII is pretty generous with being able to level up. It's one of the easier ones overall. And then if you move on to Final Fantasy VIII, that game leveling up doesn't matter at all.
Oh, really?
Don't trust it. Yeah, because all the enemies level up with you.
Oh, I see.
So it's all tied to your like weird junction system. So basically, you just get up all your stats with your by hoarding all the magic and never using it, and then you're fine.
All right.
Yep.
Well, tell me about that when I play it.
Yeah, of course.
All you need to know about 8 is that it's the first one I played, and Triple Triad fucking rocks.
Oh yeah, I've heard you guys talk about that. And didn't you have a game of that? Or
I have cards for Triple Triad. Yes.
There's also Square Enix does have a like mobile app thing with it too, and also Final Fantasy 14 has a the Golden Saucer, which is a thing from 7 where you just go to play games and stuff.
And there's random NPCs.
It's a big old carnival area.
Nice.
And it has a Triple Triad section.
I have over 100 cards.
I love games that have like card games like incorporated in world and universe.
Witcher 3 seems like a fun game. I can't wait to play it someday. I've spent 40 hours on that game.
Oh my gosh.
You know what I did?
You played Gwent?
A whole lot of Gwent.
So I'm still telling you, it may not respect your time, Damon, but get the mod.
Yeah.
So there is a mod out there that changes every single enemy encounter into a round of Gwent.
Really?
You swing your sword at them, and then it turns into a Gwent battle.
Yep.
Oh my god.
And then when you win, it kills everything in like a 30-meter radius.
Oh my god, that would take so much time.
It really would take so much time, but I feel like for someone like Damon, he would really enjoy it.
I feel like I'd probably
that kind of would be fun.
Play for a while.
Oh my goodness.
Alright, is there anything else that you can think of that really fucking grinds your gears with this game mechanics?
Nothing too big.
I mean, obviously, like
taking a while.
Yeah, I mean, we could always go over like loot boxes or anything like that. But I mean, that's just general fare at this point.
But we can talk about it some other day.
Yeah, we can always talk. It'll get incorporated somewhere. We briefly talked about it with like me mentioning Dead Space 3.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
and there are a lot of other games that just. Like it's been grinded to the dust, like everyone knows.
Yeah.
Loot boxes fucking suck.
Loot boxes suck.
Stop taking our money. We're susceptible to gambling.
And they're potentially
bring back skill-based unlocks. That's a big thing for me. Like
skill-based unlocks.
Just like completing cool challenges.
Like I don't necessarily mind like a loot box system, but it needs to be implemented in such a way that I feel like I'm being rewarded rather than
makes you feel anything other than like a gambling problem coming on.
Yeah, actually, like I think
wouldn't that be nice?
Call of Duty World War II does it really well, while say like Apex doesn't, because I've spent more money on Apex than I'd ever like.
I absolutely don't care about the loot boxes in most games, like Overwatch. I can't care.
That game doesn't give you enough loot boxes.
No, it doesn't.
Bothers me because I'm like on the verge of like I want to purchase stuff, but like I'm just gonna get a bunch of sprays, aren't I? That's all I'm gonna get.
I'm never going to buy those, ever, because I can't support that type of business. Yeah. I hate it so much.
Yeah, well, World War II, you can just be like, alright, new day, new me.
Yeah.
And I'm just going to get 9 commands, and then I'm just going to go play 10 rounds, and then I'm going to, at the end of it, I'm going to get like 4 loot boxes and be like, that's pretty good.
Call of Duty World War II is pretty good. I really like it. I really do.
Yeah. But yeah, at the end of the day, a lot of that gambling adjacent is not like my favorite thing as someone who regularly plays gacha games and regularly purchases Magic cards, which is legitimately just gambling.
Yep.
Yeah, Magic cards are so pretty though. You're buying art. You're investing in art.
I am investing in art. If I sold my entire collection right now, I could probably buy a car.
Oh, wow, damn.
Depends on who you sell it to. If you sell it to a card shop, you might
even if I sell it...
And what kind of car you want to buy?
Yeah, of course. I mean,
I can get one of those little red and yellow cars for kids.
I'm saying I probably have let's just say I have like maybe $5,000 in value in cards.
Oh, wow.
Maybe more.
That's a lot of cards.
I do.
But Yep.
I think that's about good for our time for
Seems
this
like
episode.
a good episode.
Thank you guys so much for tuning in again.
Yeah.
And yeah.
Join us next time when we talk about
whatever we talk about.
something. I don't have a plan for this one. I barely planned for this.
Join us again by the hearth. Thank you guys.
Bye-bye.
Bye.